Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Here's the Marvel United Return of the Sinister Six that you're going to see here. Very striking box. Open it up. You're going to have a rule set that you'll see here. You open it up and you have a picture of all the components over here, how to set up, and then how to go through the gameplay. These are big books, but not a lot of words, so it'll probably take you about 10 minutes to read through this, if that, and you'll be up and moving. You're going to get the Sinister Six Board here, which will be very cool. You're going to place this in the center, and you have 6 bad guys that you'll be utilizing at the same time. Then you're going to get your bad guys. Now, these can be used part of the Sinister Six and use this board, or you can use these as bad guys. So you're going to have Mysterio, Doc Ock, you're going to have Craven, Sandman, Electro, and Vulture. And those will be the ones you have of these. So these can be all used individually as bad guys, or you can use them as the Sinister Six. This one, you have the Sinister Six Board if you want to use this, and use these weak spots instead of threat cards. Then you're going to shuffle the deck and put it by a random location. Then you'll take 2 of the villains and put them in a location, and then you would set 2 to the right of it and 2 to the left of it. So that's kind of how that's going to work in the center. So you want to put these in the locations that you have set up around the board. So in this version, you're going to play a Master Plan card after every 2 cards played by the heroes, not 3 like normal, and then you would play this. So you move 1, bam, return to the Sinister Six, activate all undefeated villains, start with Doc Ock, and go clockwise around the board. And whenever you have these, you'll see these have like all the villains on them listed. You're going to always move the top 2 that aren't defeated. So in this case, Doc Ock and Mysterio. Here you have Craven and Vulture, Electro and Vulture. And what you would do is you'd move these guys to bam, etc., based on where they're at. So let's say Vulture was already defeated, Electro and Sandman would go. If these 2 were already defeated, maybe you would go Sandman and Craven. So you can work your way down based on this criteria right here, and then you would move them twice, do the BAM action, and fill up the bystanders and the thugs as you're going through. So there are no missions to complete in this version. You're going to go through these weak spots. So if you're in the same location as Mysterio, you can put down the icons here. You can't do any damage to him until you defeat his weak spot. Once this is defeated, then based on the number of players, you can do damage to him, and now he's vulnerable to damage. And once he's defeated, you just put him here and he's done, and then you would ignore him on these cards like I've already utilized. So a little bit different of a setup, and you have 6 of these that you need to beat in order to win. The heroes lose if they draw from the deck and it's empty, or they start their cards with no hands, both in their deck and their hand, and you have to defeat all 6 Sinister Six. If you want to play Sinister Six mode, this is how you would do it. In addition to the Sinister Six mode, you have each individual bad guy that can be used. Special rules when a location has 3 crisis tokens, it's destroyed, remove it from play. If Doc Ock is there, he moves clockwise, and he heroes that move to an adjacent location of their choice. Locations adjacent to a destroyed one are considered adjacent. His BAM, deal 1 damage to each hero and Doc Ock's location and put a crisis token there, and it's a 3/6/8 for damage. His overflow, if 1 or more tokens can't be added, you add a crisis token, and if heroes lose 4 or more, the locations are destroyed. So he's going to have some threat cards, which will be a Mysterio, bam, deal 1 damage to 1 hero in the location. Vulture, bam, deal 1 damage to 1 hero in this location. Move this card to the first clockwise location without a threat. Sandman will come out with him, gain 1 health, deal 1 damage to each hero in the location. Then you have endangered civilians. Each bystander's location requires 1 extra heroic action to be rescued. And then you're going to have 2 more of those. So that's going to be his threats that he's going to have. As for his cards, he doesn't move and do a bam, moves 1 and do a bam. So these are going to be kind of what you're used to. Remember, the BAM here is going to deal damage to each hero there and place a crisis token out. So he's going to move around the board. And he can move 4s and 5s. He'll move pretty quickly. But Master Plan, deal 1 damage to each hero in any locations with any crisis tokens and place a crisis token. So as he gets those crisis tokens out, it's going to be hurting you guys more and more. You have 2 of those. And Tentacles Grasp, move clockwise to the location with any hero. So he's going to move straight to where you guys are at. And then move all heroes 1 location closer to Dr. Octopus, and then bam. So you're going to try to pull everybody in together and then put those crisis tokens out, which can cause increasing amount of damage. So that's going to be a very good bad guy. And he can move you around and change your plans up. So very fun to play against. Here we have Craven, so he's a 4/7/10, so he can soak up a lot of damage here. When a hero is KO'd, Craven doesn't activate his BAM. Instead, he plays another Master Plan card, so you're getting through that deck very quickly. His BAM, though, is deal 1 damage to each hero in Craven's location, plus any 1 hero with crisis tokens take a damage per crisis token they have. So as those crisis tokens get out, his damage is going to be more and more. Overflow, if 1 or more can't add it to location, you must take a damage. The heroes lose if they're all KO'd at the same time. So I think that's a win condition. It's a little hard for him to win with. But here's his threat card, Decoys. Every time he takes damage at this location, he ignores the first damage received. So you're going to have 3 of those decoys. And then he's going to have a trap. If there are no bystanders or thugs in this location, when a hero takes a damage here, they take an extra damage. So he's putting out that damage, right? Because he wants to KO you guys. And then we're going to have 3 of those traps that will be in here. Then we'll take a look at his cards. Kind of what you're used to. The BAM's going to put out, any kind of sort of bad guys that will come out, and he'll move around the board a little bit. But let's get to his favorite cards here. So move location with a hero to any hero. So he's going to be moving around the board, and 1 hero's location takes a crisis token, and then bam, and you're going to get more damage for having that, right? So he's going to hunt you down, and he's going to get 4 of those in a deck. So he's going to want to hunt you down, give you crisis tokens, and then hit you with his BAM that deals you damage, plus damage for having the crisis token, because he's trying to KO you guys. He wants to deal a lot of damage to people. Very straightforward, and I don't want to say he's easy to beat, but he is definitely easier to play, because he's just wanting to knock you down and hit you. Next we have Mysterio, so 3/6/8, not the best at defense. As long as there are no broken illusion threat cards face up, Mysterio can't take any damage. You got to break the illusion before he can. So 2 missions must be completed before he can be damaged. To turn a threat card face up, any hero's location must spend a single action of any type. Turn all the bystanders into thugs and vice versa, then add bystanders to Mysterio's location. So the BAM's going to try to change those guys up, give you an illusion of what's going on there, and then add to that. Overflow, if 1 or more tokens can't be added, draw another Master Plan card and add it face down the storyline. So he's going to continue to hit you. So let's take a look at these threats. Battle drones, when his threats revealed, the hero revealing takes an extra damage, and you're going to get 2 of those. Smoke and mirrors, when this threat's revealed, add a thug to the location. So let's get those out. This one will add same thing, but add a bystander. Broken illusion, Mysterio can now be damaged once 2 missions have been completed. So you're going to get 2 of these, and you just have to defeat these once the 2 missions are done, and these will come out. So it's a little bit different. I haven't seen that in the other sets. Then we're going to have the Mysterio cards here. We're going to have the normal BAMs that kind of add people in. They're going to add on the bystanders and thugs. But let's get to what he does in particular, the holographic technology. Shuffle all threat cards in play, discarding any tokens on them. Then put them back face down, starting on Mysterio's location, going clockwise. So we're going to randomize those up of what he's going to be able to do. So if you had plans, he just broke them. And then you had the fake heroics. Discard all bystanders and thugs in Mysterio's location, then draw another Master Plan card, add it face down. And he's going to move clockwise to the next location with the most bystanders. So he's going to try to get rid of those as quickly as possible, which will kind of hurt you from getting the missions done, right? So that's Mysterio. Lots of smokes and mirrors with him. Okay, here with Vulture, we're going to have 3/6/8, which is neutral. Bam, still 1 crisis token from Vulture's location, then move all heroes to the location opposite to Vulture. Any hero in his location can prevent this effect by taking 2 damage. So that's kind of cool. Going to get away from them. Overflow, can't be added to a location. Steal 1 crisis token, spoils from that location. And the heroes lose if Vulture has obtained enough crisis tokens. So what he's trying to do is gain these crisis tokens. He gets them from the Overflow, and he gets them from his BAM. So depending on how many he needs, it'll be based on the number of players. So let's take a look at his threat cards. We're going to get Sandman that will come out, deal damage to each hero in the location. Craven will come out, deal 2 damage to 1 hero in this location. Grenade bombing, each hero in the location takes 2 damage. He just wants to do damage. You're going to need a couple of those. And electromagnetic wings, if Vulture's attacked here, he only takes 1 damage and immediately moves to the opposite location, because he wants to steal those spoils, right? So going to be 2 of those in the deck. and then we'll have his cards. So you're going to have the normal kind of moving around, bam, adding people to the deck. But let's look and see what his special ones are. Heist Plan. This is not the first Heist Plan in the storyline. Steal a crisis token from each location without heroes. So he wants those spoils, right? He wants to steal those crisis in. So that's going to have 4 of those heist ones that will come out. If it's not the first. The first one won't do anything, and then each one after that will start stealing those on his way to victory, because that's his victory condition. So a very different way he's going to play than the other ones. Vulture is not, just to beat him up. A little bit more going on here that you have to plan for in advance. So here's Electro 369. So we're getting a little bit harder here with the defense. Special rules: if a crisis token should be placed on a location that already has one, place the crisis token on the next clockwise location instead. As long as the location has crisis token on, heroes cannot use end of turn effects. It's going to be blocking those powerful bonuses that you've been gaining during the game. When a hero is KO'd, Electro doesn't activate his BAM. Instead, he places a crisis token on the hero location. His BAM is deal 1 damage to each hero in the location opposite to Electro, and in both locations. He can shoot that lightning out at the other players, but doesn't want to electrocute himself where he's at, I guess. Overflow can't be added to a location. Add a crisis token. In his plot, the heroes lose if all locations have a crisis token. So you're going to be putting them out on the board. Overflows are doing crisis tokens, so he wants to go out in different locations and move them around. First thing we'll do is look at his threat, high voltage. When a hero takes damage, he takes in extra damage. Electro gains 3 health. So it's going to be a healing him. You don't see that a whole lot. Then Overpowered. Play another Master Plan card after resolving the current one. So that can be pretty bad for you. We're going to take a look at his cards here. So a lot of these just move. I don't see anything out of the ordinary or different that you're used to with the BAMs and the thugs and stuff coming out. But let's look at his unique powers. Dematerialize. Electro can't take any damage until each hero has played a card in the storyline after this Master Plan. Wow. So if that's in the game and you're trying to fight him, good luck with that. Blackout, place 1 crisis token on Electro's location, which then he's going to try to move if he doesn't have one, because he wants one in every single different location. So that'd be good. It just kind of helps him get those outs. That can be very difficult to plan against, right? So here's Sandman 468. So in the middle there, special rules: when a hero is KO'd, Sandman doesn't activate his BAM. Instead, he plays another Master Plan card. Sandman gains 2 health, deal 1 damage to each hero in his location. So he's going to keep healing up, which makes it tough to beat him, right? And then he deals a damage. His Overflow, Sandman gains 2 health. Once again, we're healing with him. And then he has a villainous plot. Heroes lose if Sandman reaches 20 health. So as he keeps healing up, you want to make sure that you can prevent that. So we're going to look at his threat cards here first. Electro will come out, deal damage to each hero in the location. We've got Doc Ock, deal damage to 1 hero in this location. We got Quicksand. Heroes using movement have to move 2, so we kind of saw that coming, right? Because he is the Sandman. And then Sandstorm. If the harder Master Plan card is in the storyline, Sandman cannot take damage. That's pretty crazy, right? So let's take a look at what he has here. So you got your normal kind of movement. Now this one's neat because it's a movement 2 and a BAM, but there's nobody going out on the board. You don't see that a whole lot. Same thing with the 4, and the same thing with the 5. So you have a couple of those that will be moving around the board quite quickly. So there's the harder that we alluded to earlier. Move 3 and a BAM. From now on, Sandman cannot take any damage until Sandstorm threat cards are cleared. Wow. 1 hero in Sandman's location takes 1 damage, but he'll move to the next location with any heroes. Once again, move to the next location with no heroes. Deal 1 damage to each hero in both adjacent locations. He wants to move next to you, but not with you. Move clockwise the location with a threat card. Stronger. Discard any action tokens from the threat card in Sandman's location. Each hero takes 1 damage for each token discarded. So as you're making your progress, he's going to put a stop to it. Absolutely. So that's Sandman. That's kind of how he works. And he wants to heal up and become very, very strong. Now, this set doesn't come in any good guys. This is a rare set. It's all about the bad guys. You're going to get more and more bad guys to play with. The Sinister Six mode, I actually really like it quite a bit. I think it's a really fun way to play. You have a lot of bad guys on the board. It feels epic, which is what you want from this set. Luckily, they also gave you all 6 villains to play as bad guys, which gives you a lot of variety in the bad guys. I feel like this game is 100%, not 100%, but it's a lot about the bad guys. This is one of my favorite sets to gain because it gives you the variety of the bad guys who really kind of make it. Now, as for the 6 bad guys, I feel like Craven is really fun for starters. I like him a lot because it's just beat you up. Sandman's kind of cool because he's healing. I feel like he plays a little bit differently. I feel like the most complicated might be Mysterio or Vulture, because Mysterio, you got the smokes and mirrors, you got to plan ahead, but the Vulture is definitely hard, and he's moving around the board, and he's playing the crisis token out, so I think it's hard. Electro and Doc Ock are fairly straightforward, but this is a good group of villains to be playing against. This is one of my favorite expansions. It's one of the first ones you should get. Absolutely recommend this. One of my favorites. Great pickup.